Well, hello, my name is Ralph and welcome back to the channel. It's my time, let's go. Today we're working away on the 4-speed and we're waiting for some parts to come that I need to assemble it. But in the interim, I'm having a look at the 4th gear here and we're going to try to make some cuts and do some things to it to eliminate some sealing problems. Under closer inspection, as I looked in here, I thought it had one of the old Harley type ones in here, but it in fact does have a Jim's bushing. And what I found is that, I don't know whether it was too tight to begin with, and there's not really much crud in it or anything, but if I go to slide it on my main shaft, it won't go on. So it was like it was not honed out the right size to start with. So what I'm going to try to do is set it up and run it in my honing machine and take a couple of very light cuts off it. Now I'm hoping that if I do that, it'll just slide onto the main shaft like I want it to, and we won't have to replace the bushings. That's $70 a piece up here for this little Jim's bushing. We're going to take a beating in Canada, that's for sure. So I'm going to go over to my honing machine and give it a try and see what happens. Now, let's see where we are. Always clean all the honing material out of it, because that will cause it not to fit properly. Spray it out with brake clean. Somebody had evidently put this on too tight because it still won't go on there, so it's like they press the shaft through. I don't know. We're almost there. Let's just spray that one more time. Spray it out. Make sure that there's no crud in the grooves. The slightest little bit of crud in there will make it not want to slide on the shaft properly. All right. That's just a nice fit on there. One more little cleaning. That off. Here we go. That's what we're looking for. Just a nice smooth fit on there. So we're able to salvage that bearing in there, seeing as it's a Jim's one. You wouldn't have been able to do that with the split bushing, but since it was a Jim's one, we're all good there. So that'll save us a few dollars for sure. The price of those, I always use the Jim stuff, I like it, but we're good. So now we're gonna go and get it set up in the lathe, and then I'm gonna cut an O-ring groove in it to help to seal it, like I like to do, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so we've got it mounted in the lathe now, and what we're going to do is take a cut in there to 7/16 from the end of it out, and that will allow us to put 2 seals in there and double seal the thing up. So we're set up here now, and we're just going to try a little cut, get it started in there. I know we're down to the bottom, to the bushing is 7/16. There we are. I think that'll do it. That'll be just fine for us to drive our new seal in there. But that will be just fine. That's what we're looking for. Okay, now we're gonna have to do the outside cut on here. So now we're just trying to cut our little groove to put our O-ring in there. So we've got it cut down in there, about to where we want it to be. Take our little O-ring, see if we can fit that. Still sticking up there just a little ways. I'm gonna try and put some grease on it. Just a hair little tight. There we go. Now sometimes you can take the back side of this and just make a little chamfer on the back. I usually do that, but I haven't done that in this case. So sometimes it makes it hard to get it started up on there. So close. So close. And I'm thinking I should chamfer the back of this, and that will do it. So we've got our O-ring to size on there. And if we use our little ruler, it'll just slide over there. There's a bit of resistance there, but we do want that. So we'll grease this good. And I've got one here with a slight chamfer in the back, which I'll do to the new one when I get it. I gotta get a new one because that one's worn. And we'll just tighten our nut on here to give you an idea. Okay. And you can see as we tighten it up, going to slide right over that O-ring. There we go. And I know it's hard to see, but as you can see in here, I can take this sharp end of my pick, and I can't grab the O-ring anywhere there. So it's been compressed underneath the collar. And that should stop any oil from coming out. And as you can see, our O-ring is in perfect shape. So that'll do that. So as you see, we've compressed that O-ring. Just cut it enough so that it's bumped up a little bit, and we can slide our thing over it, our spacer over that, and that will compress that O-ring in there and stop it from leaking out through that spot, which is the worst spot for it to actually get oil out through. I've done it a few times before, works very well, and I'm very confident with it. There are other things out there. There's a fellow in New Brunswick that makes a spacer for them. His name is Ray Dugray, and you can find him on eBay. Just punch in shovelhead, panhead, knucklehead, O-ring, spacer, leak-proof, I believe that's what it says, and you'll find it on there. His handle is saddlebag rail, so check them out. They make great little units. They just put a small O-ring inside of this to fit over it, but I found on some of mine they're quite different. So that's what the finished unit looks like. We've got our O-ring in here. We've countersunk it inside here, 7/16 of an inch to put double seals in it. And we've cleaned the bushing out there so we have a nice fit on our shaft. So this fourth gear is ready to go back in the bike, and I feel good about it. And it should work well. All right, let's move on. And always make sure to check your spacer to see what kind of condition it's in inside and out. Now this one appeared to be okay, but when you roll it around here, I don't know if you can see it, but along this side here, it's all deteriorating and going to pieces there. And your seal has to run on this. So if there's pieces like there, it's pretty obvious here that it's all breaking down, and your seal would have to run on that, and that could cause your seal to leak as well. So I've ordered the new one coming, and I will put a slight little chamfer on the back just to ease it up over the O-ring just a little bit, very tiny, just so it's just not a sharp edge there, and then it will all compress like it's supposed to. So check each part out, have a look at it, see what kind of shape it's in. You never know what kind of surprises you'll run into. All right. Today we're working away on Margaret's transmission, and we're getting down to it. We've stripped the case out now and we've glass beaded it, and we're just going to wash it out in the hot water yet to get any kind of residue that's left on it. But we've blown it out, and it's looking good now. It's looking presentable to rebuild. So we're going to take a bit of the ratchet lid apart because I want to see what's going on in there. I do have some new springs that I think I'll put in, and I'm not sure what else it'll need. It seems to shift good, but we're going to pull it apart and have a quick look at it. She's stuck on the pins there a little bit. The screws were stuck. I had to some of the release all in there to get them to work, and once again, after letting it sit, they did. Boys, we're stuck on the pins there. Just doesn't want to seem to let go. There we go. Just take your time with it. Don't pry too hard. Cap off. What happens with these. Okay. Now when these go back together, they have to be timed carefully. They do show a setting for the FL and the FX. And I think the FL is the lower shift and the FX is up top. And we're using the lower shift one, so we'll set it up to that if we have to. This one has a nut on the back. I'll have to get a little something to hold that. Now your springs are in here, and they're locked into a small tab in there. So when you put them in, you're going to have to pull them back. Get that tab in. That bushing feels good in there. And they'll want to pop out. There we go. Don't you lose the cam pieces. Screw out. Looks pretty good there. I don't think I'm going to take that out and change the timing. It's right where it was. I'll take the shifter cam out there to make it easier to work with. That one is in there. pretty solid. Well, it's time to soak some stuff, I guess. I don't want to come out. Let her sit. Boys, I don't think I'm going to take that one out. No, sir. I don't think I'll fool with that. That's in there, in position, so I really don't want to fool with that. So I don't want to take those apart. I don't want to break the lid trying to get that bolt out. So I'm just going to mask it up a bit so that I can blast the top of it, clean it, and we'll go from there. I'm not going to try and get that out and break that cover, and there's no need to. Everything's in there solid, everything's shifting good, so I just need to clean it up. So that's what we'll do. So I got my cover all masked off inside, and I'm just going to try to take it in so I can blast the top of it off and not get anything inside of it, and we'll of course wash it out to make sure, but because that's stuck in there and I just don't want to fool with it, that's what I'm going to do. So today we're going to put our shifter here together, and there's a few little things that you have to watch out for. Now we're not taking the shifting assembly inside apart. It works good, it's where it's supposed to be. I'm just going to set it up like it should be, and there's no sense disturbing all of that. So when you go to set this up, there's notches in this cam all around, as you can see. And we want to have the notch facing straight this way, so when we put the shifter plate on, we want the notches in the bottom of the shifter plate to line up with the first cam position. Now this is a 79 and later 4-speed ratchet top transmission. It's easily identifiable because of the counter shaft and the main shaft have cage bearings and not loose bearings. Before that, they always had loose bearings in them. And when you're setting these up, there's two different settings. For the earlier ones with the needle bearings, 70 up to early 78, you would line the notch up, I believe, with the second groove for an FLH style. But in these years, we want to line it up with the first groove. We're going to get our gasket on here. James. We'll get our plate on, it's all cleaned up, and we'll line it up with the notch. We need our screw. So we'll put a little blue Loctite on the screw. Set it in place. And we'll just snug it down there to make sure that we're lined up with our notch. Now what we can do to check our position is we can shift it through the gears. So in order to set the timing, this is what we line up with this first tooth. With this one, and you'll see that each time you go through the gears, we're now in 4th gear, 3rd gear, 2nd gear, they all line up. I'll apply first there. Neutral should be in line with the gear, and first. And don't be afraid to revert back to your manual for things. You know, it'll explain the notches if you have the shifter cam out, and it will tell you exactly how to put these in here, where to align your notches for the FX or the FL, depending on the years. You know, how to line timing notch up, and it's very thorough on the manual. So don't be afraid to use your manual. You should use your manual to make sure, because sometimes it's the little things that can cause you problems. So that's what we're looking for between each of the gears. You're going to put that in. The torque spec on this screw is 7 to 9 pounds, and I'm using an inch-pound one here at 96 inch-pounds, which gives me 8 pounds, and I'm right in between. So I'm going to see if I can get it here with that. No, I'm not going to be able to get that with that screw attachment. That's tight. So I can't really get something wide enough to set into that screw, and I'm not positive that it's an original screw in there, although it looks like it. So just to make sure, I've got it in there pretty tight. It's only supposed to be 6 to 9 pounds. I'm just gonna set it with that. That's about where she's locked in there now, so I'm not gonna do any more on that and take a chance of breaking that screw off in there. You know, 1 pound is 12 inch-pounds, so you can figure it out. So 6 is 2 6 to 12, 72 inch-pounds, which is what I should have there. But because I can't get a wide enough blade to stick in there and it just wants to twist, it doesn't want to torque right. But I'm confident that that's in there nice and tight now, and it's where it should be. And I've checked my settings and everything appears to be in place. As I check it through each gear, it looks good. The other problem that I have is this screw on the end of the shift plate is kind of buggered, and this is where your springs go in. Your shift pawls, I guess, is what they're called, these little things. So it's going to make it a slight bit more difficult to get them in. If I screw with that screw and it breaks off in there, I've ruined the whole shift plate, so it's not worth screwing with. So I've got a new bag of springs here. These are the old ones. These are the new ones. And as you can see, the difference in the springs are not a whole lot there, but they are a little bit longer, especially with my shift ball springs. So you can see the difference in the two lengths right there, hopefully. So we're going to put the new ones in. Now, just as a matter of a fact and a curiosity, I have these springs here, which are springs out of the cowpie transmission shifter. And as you can see, they're just a little bit longer and not quite as heavy, but I think they'd work in a pinch if you were stuck and you didn't have anything else. So anyway, move along and get our new springs in place. Now, the trick is going to be getting our springs and little pieces in here. These little pieces there's a piece sticking out here, real sharp little pins, and the pins are for the groove in these. So the groove has to fit into them. I'm going to spray those with like WD-40. They just say to put these in with like a machine oil, not with the grease. So yeah, we'll put these springs in here and we'll slide these in. We pay attention to where our pins are because we want the chamfered edge in towards inside. Like that. Get our other one in here. Make sure that we're in the pins. As with some other times, if things are giving you a hard time, sometimes you can use a tie wrap to hold things in place. And that's what we're going to try and do here. Make sure we're in the right position. There. And that will kind of keep them in place here. Now I'm not sure if this is going to work and give me enough room, but it might if I can get the other end in there. We're close. It's just the twist tie there, the tie wrap that's holding it up. There we go. There we go. She's down on there. We're greased up and good to go. Get a little bit of the grease off of here. Should be able to shift through the gears. There we go. There we go. A little hard with your fingers sometimes. We just stick our handle on here. Maybe not the handle, the shift mechanism. Fourth, third, second, neutral, and first. So there we are in first gear, second, or neutral I mean, Second gear. Third gear. And fourth. Fourth. Third. Second. Neutral. And first. She's pretty stiff compared to what the other ones were, which is not surprising, but it's shifting through the gears. That's where it's supposed to be. Okay, take our gasket, and our gasket lines up with the groove that's on here, so you know where it goes. Same with the top lid. It's got a groove cut in it here. That has to go there. That's better. Not sure what these other gaskets were, but it didn't want to fit or compress on there so that you could get the screws started in it. So we're going to get those in place. Just slightly push the gasket in a little bit so that it can grab in the holes. So when you are putting these together, there's a short screw and the rest are always long. And the long ones go all the way around, and the short one goes in the bottom area here where you have to put the nut on. You need to have it in there because if the screw is too long, you won't be able to get your lid on and you'll have to take it all apart again. So remember, the short screw goes down towards the open lid. This is where it pays to have wire wheeled all your bolts so that nothing is cruddy or catching. And we'll put a little bit of Loctite on our bottom nut that goes on this one. Again, don't over tighten them, but tighten them in. Remember, they're small screws, fine thread, go accordingly. There we go. Okay. I did manage to dig through some of my junk and actually found a nice chrome cover, I was digging through my stuff and I thought I had a chrome cover, but this is actually for a top shift, which we're not. So if I was a top shift, I could use it up there on that, but we're not. So we'll just put the old one back on. I've cleaned it up, and see if this one, yeah, I do at least have a chrome piece for it there. Should fit. That's what we're looking for. My other piece is back together for another day. Here we go. That's the way it's supposed to be. So there we go, and the lid's all done now. We've bent the tabs over on this screw here, and as you can see, the short one in here allows us to put the lid on the transmission. There's a little cutout on the transmission that allows us to slide down on that. So with everything in place, ready to go, we're on to the body now and working on the rest of the transmission. So if you enjoyed this video today, like, subscribe, comment, link, ring the bell, do those kind of things. It helps us to grow. Rebuilding your transmission can be important, and checking out all the individual pieces, taking your time, getting things pressed in right, putting new bushings in is very important for the longevity of your transmission. And we all want longevity. Once we put it together, we don't want to have to take it apart. So stick with us, and I'll see you next week.